PJNet.TV Part 2. It's 9:31. And Del Didway is standing by in our green room. Our bumper is running. We are streaming. We are recording. Our chat room is waiting. Let's not delay any further. Let's start a countdown to Studio 33 Alpha. Well, welcome back to Studio 33 Alpha here at PJNet.TV, where it is now Tuesday night. It is 9:30 and twice a month. I think it's the first and third, but anyway, it's tonight. Okay, whatever that is. Del Didway joins us, and Del is, he's got things to say. And Del, I don't know where to start. Should I have introduced you as a part of the Magnificent Seven? You just wrapped up a podcast not too long ago, didn't you?
More like the Three Stooges, maybe. So,
Mutt and Jeff.
Yeah. No, we're doing something I've been invited to take part in. Kyle and Bethany Michelle doing a podcast for Charisma House, which is a huge platform. And we're calling it the Seven. And it will kind of be like our version of the Five, only two more, and not as quality tamed. But there'll be Kyle Young, Bethany Jett, Michelle Medlock Adams, and then there will be Britt Mooney, and there'll be Julie Lavender, and Andy Clapp, and then they got desperate and they called me. So that's the Seven. So we're going to be doing these little podcasts. We've taped quite a bit of, we've made quite a bit of shows, so it's episodes. So it'll be launching sometime in April. We'll keeping everybody in tune, but it's going to be on a big platform, and we're going to be talking a lot of things. We're going to be talking about the whole format will be 7, and then we'll have a topic, and we'll talk about 7 points to make it the 7. So like one today, I won't give it away by any means, but we'll talk about how to stay positive during the difficult seasons of life, whether you're a writer, whether you're a podcaster, or whatever. So, or just a parent or a kid in school, how to stay positive during difficult situations. And we hit 7 points. So, now surround yourself with, like-minded people and things like that. So
is there a dedicated amount of time, 20 minutes, an hour, 30? What is it?
Yeah, we're looking at 23 minutes-ish,
Okay. So it's going to have to move pretty quick.
We're trying to get those kinks ironed out, because when you get, folks, I love Michelle. When you get Michelle
I know what you're about to say.
You got to say, hey, let me have a minute to speak. No, I'm kidding. So everybody's doing great, actually. We've done several episodes, and we don't have 7 people on at one time. We have 4 on.
Oh, okay.
So we just rotate, like the same 4. The next time be something else.
Okay, because I'm thinking 7 people, 7 topics, 3 minutes, plus an intro and an outro. You're at 24 minutes, and that's at a 3-minute window. So
we have 4 in at a time, and then we rotate. So it's a lot of fun, though. We each take turns, like being director, and being producer, and being the time person. So
and 4 works out. I have 4 shirts. Different color shirts, and they rotate, and I have an algorithm so that if you watch every Monday, it would be 5 weeks before I'm wearing the same shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just grab what's clean. That's all I do.
Well, I only do this for our producer Barbara's sake. If it were up to me, I would be in a T-shirt.
I get it. Yeah. We're going to be launching that soon. We don't know the exact date, but it'll be soon. We've taped several shows. We'll be doing some tapings next week. And we're getting the hang of it, so it'll be a lot of fun. Called the 7, and it'll be for Charisma. So we're looking forward to that.
Who hatched this idea? Wasn't you, because you were the 7th one?
I was the last one. I was default. I think they went to 14 or 15 others before they got me. But Kyle and Bethany Michelle had started this several months ago, and like everything else, you just kind of get bogged down. So they wanted to join forces with a lot of folks and a lot of our writing community friends, and we all have close ties to each other, so it was just kind of happened that way.
Well, it sounds worthwhile, and so much. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just figuring this out. so much of what you and that team that you mentioned, the Kyles, the
Yeah.
Bethany's, the Michelles, so much of what you do is focused on writing and
Right.
authoring and those core competencies that you share. This doesn't sound like that at all. This really sounds more just like a ministry.
Yeah, it is because we was originally, as you know, and Kyle may correct me, but as he loves to do, but it started out as a podcast to help writers and authors, people in the writing community. But as we discussed lately, it's not going to be just to people like that. It's going to be just people who we live life together. So it's going to be us living
Mm-hmm.
life to everybody else, and
Mm-hmm.
just talking about what works for us and how we manage to get through, because we all have ups and downs and things like that. So that's what it's going to be about. Again, a lot of writers will be attracted to it, but it's going to be just about life, just juggling life. And
Well,
so far it's been a lot of fun. We had a really good time today we did 2 episodes today, so it was a lot of fun.
really. Well, I know that you're excited about it because I happen to know that you went out for this reason and this reason only and got yourself a new camera.
I did. Kind of had to. Yeah, and I upgraded my mic, so hopefully it's working. We'll see. But it hasn't tanked out on me yet. So
Well,
yeah, I had to buy a new camera.
yeah, I liked your old mic. It tended to cut out on this particular platform, and you did something to figure that out. But that wasn't a bad mic you had.
No, it's still the same one. I just did some rewiring. So but anyway.
Re-engineering. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the seven's coming out. Hopefully soon. We'll do some more shows next week, and we're getting a bunch lined up.
Good. That's great. Yeah. And if you've only got 4, that allows for some latitude so people can, if they're traveling or
Right.
sick or family thing, you're
Well,
not.
just like a case in point today, Bethany wasn't feeling well, so Bethany was our timer, and she was our director, and would send us chats on who to talk to next and who to come in. So she was playing her part, even though she was feeling like crud.
Yeah. Well, you and I know from the sports world, you're up in the broadcast booth, but you and I both know in a football game, the time the referee, he's old, he's retired. He's not able to run around the field like he used to. So
Exactly.
that's the pasture that they retire you to before you just get pushed out. So timekeeper wouldn't be a very good role for Bethany anyway.
But she couldn't talk very well. She wasn't feeling well, so
Yeah.
she kind of sounded.
Oh, we have this thing in Florida called pollen.
Yeah. Well,
I know
she
that you
lives
don't have
in,
it there yet.
Well, no, we have it, but not yet. We just got rid of a bunch of snow. We had a
Yeah.
big snowstorm over the weekend, and I had to get a room. I was traveling from Nashville back on Friday night, and it was like driving on the moon. I couldn't see. I was using the guardrails as my visual on
Yeah.
Interstate 65.
Okay.
Could not see the road. There was no traffic out there. I mean, that snow's coming in on your windshield at night, kind of like you're going through you're getting dizzy looking at it so long. I looked at that for like 2 hours. And again, could not see where the road was, and again had to use the guardrails as my guide, going about 25 miles an hour. So after about 3 hours of that, I said enough's enough, and pulled off and found a room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wondered. I saw those pictures with your fire pit, filled up with snow.
Oh man, yeah, we got hit hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all gone now. Now it's gone.
Oh yeah, and we're getting rain, but isn't it getting to the time of year that spring training, and don't you have a yearning to go to Central Florida?
Always have a year to go to Central Florida, but yeah, spring training should. Well, they got the opening days. They finally got that settled. So, spring training is not going to be on the horizon this year. But my flowers are up, and my tulips are up, my daffodils are up, but they took a beating with the snow. But they're starting to rebound a little bit. But no, just traveling back from NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters Conference, down in Nashville this past weekend. A lot of fun.
How many of the team have gotten interviews from that? Because I have seen so many. That can be a big deal.
If you don't get interviewed down there, something's wrong.
Okay, yeah, you've been blacklisted.
That, or you just didn't show up. So. I didn't go down there for that reason. I went down there to help out with in-game press, and everybody just starts grabbing. I was on a really good podcast. The guy was a sports fan, and his podcasts normally he says 20 minutes or so. We went like an hour and 10 minutes. We just had a blast talking, and some others. So yeah, if if you don't get on a podcast or interview, then you've either slept in or you're just wandering through there looking at the ceiling, because they're there. They'll grab you. They'll talk to you about stuff. And so I was able to jump on some. Michelle did like 75. Um, Karis did a few. So it was just a good weekend. That's always a good event to go to.
Well, I guess I got the notion that you were in Central Florida because today on Facebook I see this post where you are interviewing and I don't know the details, a baseball player. So I figure it's got to be spring training, but you're on camera and it's not a cell. I can tell some. Yeah, was that? How long ago was that?
That's a couple years ago. That was up in Cleveland. That was just popped up on a memory, and I actually was recording that. I was recording myself doing that interview. So it was a selfie interview. I was just holding the camera up or hold my phone up and doing the interview that way. But no, that was just a memory popped up with. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's in Dugout Devotions too. He played for Baltimore. Pitcher, great test. I remember our conversation. I can't remember his name.
Well, folks, you'll have to buy the book. Okay,
Yeah,
you'll just have to buy the book. I'm sorry,
I can look at it and tell you who it is right now. I've got it right here. I'll be.
Oh, you just happen to have
I'll
one.
just
You just
flip.
happen to have one. Well, he's talking about Dugout Devotions, which I think there's two of them. I have not. I don't have either of them. I don't believe, because Dell knows I'm not a baseball fan, but I do have a copy. In fact, I'll do the cheesy thing here. I have my copy of Sports Shorts, and I have begun reading it. This is actually a signed copy.
Yeah.
And let's see, I'm on the third one, and I'm doing two devotions right now, Dale. So I alternate back and forth, And
Well, that was with David Hess. He's a pitcher for Baltimore at the time, so I couldn't remember his name off the hand. But great is about your go-to verse, because he whipped off scripture like crazy. And
I was going to say he's a young man.
If you listen to him, he just whipped off a verse, and I don't coach these guys. I just get them off the cuff, so they're not prompted to what I'm going to ask them. So anyway,
kind of like
Sports
PJ.
Shorts. Yeah. So Sports Shorts launches here next week. It's obviously intended for 8, 9, 10-year-olds. I think that's why we relate to it really well, Coach, because it's on that level.
I could tell that you had altered, that you'd kind of, but it's not childish.
No, but I had to get rid of some bigger words and use words that we use in everyday language.
So you didn't go into premillennial dispensation or propitiation or anything like that.
No, I just kept it with simple, popcorn, cheese balls, stuff like that. So hot dogs, things kids understand. So, but yeah, so that comes out next week. Looking forward to that, and we're getting ready to send in tonight. Actually, when I get off with you, I'm going to send in our Florida State devotional. I sent in my Florida one today, and the Florida State one just got emailed back to me from Bethany and Andy, and I'll send that in to our publisher tonight, because it's due by midnight tonight. So we're cutting the deadline there, but we're going to hit it.
Midnight in which time zone? I mean, what if it's midnight Hawaii?
It's Central Time, so I've got actually extra hour. So we're going to hit the deadline, and we'll be looking for those to come out in November. Not sure on the titles yet. I think they're going to be doing a title change, but it's a devotional book about Florida football and about Florida State football. So we're going to launch those as little rivals in November.
Now, are those two separate publications?
Two separate books, like we did the Auburn and Alabama one. Okay. Separate books, same time, the rivals. So we're going to do the Florida State. Hopefully come out in November. That's what they're looking at. So maybe mid-season.
Yeah, and college football can't go on strike, so chances are good that, and typically rivalry week is the last game of the regular season, so November would be about right.
So then we're going to, I think they're revamping the Auburn and Alabama covers, so we're going to do a relaunch on those. It's about the same time frame. And then we'll take a little break, and we'll start seeing what schools we're going to write about next. So we'll see about that.
Well, I think it was Auburn, Alabama. When you were doing those books, I think that is when COVID appeared on the scene. Yeah. And so here you are testing this new idea in an environment of the unknown.
Yeah, so we're going to relaunch them. I mean, they did okay, but they could do better because
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice way of saying, yeah, it tanked it.
And like just like when you meet people, no, they did okay. It's just
Yeah.
not what we had hoped for, but wasn't our fault. But so we're going to relaunch those. But we just like at NRB, right? We're down there, and I'm on Faith Radio with Bob Crichton, and his general manager's there by chance, so we get to meet him, Russell. So we're chatting about things, and he loves Auburn, right? Or I'm sorry, he loves he loves Auburn, and he's got kids that go there, and he knows the athletic director real well, and he goes, "Hey, I can hook you up with a chaplain for the Auburn football team." I said, "Great." I said, "I know the chaplain of Alabama, so maybe we'll get together those two, and we'll come down and pay each school a visit and hand out our books to each player." And he says, "Oh, I can make that happen." I said, "Well, that's great." So just contacts like that, you run into people. And you just talk to people. So
You can't. Todd Starnes was there. I know that you've had a few encounters with him. Did you get to see him this time?
Oh yeah, we bumped into Todd a few days, and he came around and saw me and Michelle at the booth and chatted with us for a little bit. And Caleb Park was there, so Todd's always great to talk to. And
what's he doing now?
He owns a radio station in Memphis. And, he owns his own station. So he was broadcasting down there, and it's always good to talk to Todd. Todd's a friend, and doing a great job. And he's a real warrior as far as the radio world, as far as the conservative voice goes.
Yeah,
he never stops.
Well, and he paid the price in so many ways.
Well, he's better off, I think.
He might be now, but at the time it was devastating. I bet.
Yeah. He was at Fox News for a long time, on Fox and Friends first in the mornings, and took us and my wife and Bethany and Michelle, took us all around Fox News that one evening, and introduced us to a lot of folks. So we had a good time. Then shortly after that, he posted something about Hillary Clinton, and the brass didn't like it too well, and they fired him. So,
well, it could be a lot worse, because a lot of the people that have stuff on her don't live to tell about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he got off light. Yeah. It was his first offense. He won't have a case of suicide on that.
But Todd's doing great. I mean, he owns the Mighty. I think it's Mighty 90, or I forget. 90's in there somewhere. But I've listened to his show a few times, and he's a great voice for the conservative movement right now. And Todd's a believer, and he got some books out too as well. So,
well, I'm glad to hear that. But as an old radio guy, I'm concerned, because radio has lost, just like newspapers, has lost so much ground to the internet. But some stations, especially in the bigger markets, have adapted well, but the smaller markets have just shriveled up.
The newspapers, even your big time newspapers, are terrible. I mean, they're not making it. Todd owns the Starnes Media Group. That's what he owns, and has that radio station in there. So just looked that up real quick. So, yeah. But yeah, newspapers are really struggling in the print edition, even online. There's so many out there. And
they've done a bad job of it, Dale.
Yeah, and I think radio is still, I still listen to radio. A lot of folks still listen to radio.
Yeah. Newspapers, they had to do something. But the ones that it aggravates me when you go to social media and you see an article that somebody's posted, and when you get to it, it's like, well, you can't read this because you're not a subscriber.
Hey, I mean, I get it. They have to make money, so they'll tease you with like 3 paragraphs, and then
right. And but that one doesn't bother me. I'm like you. I get it. But on those that do allow you to read it, you get pop up after pop up and inline, and it's like you're looking for the needle in the haystack just to read the article. And some of these things are some of the inline ads are cleverly done to where they kind of look like they're part of the article,
Yeah. When I did some writing for the Western Journal, that was one of the things. I mean, you got 3 sentences and you boom, pop up. And you got 3 more sentences, a boom, another pop up. And it got to where it's laborious to read it.
It is.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not reading this anymore. I do that today. I'll read something. You know what? I can't even concentrate because I'm hitting the X and the X and X.
I know. And they hide those X's. They put them in different places.
And if you don't hit the X, then it takes you to a different screen, and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I?
Yeah, the X is not always at the upper right.
Right. Yeah. So
So you
sometimes
have
it's
to
lower
look
left.
for it, or they'll have in little
Yeah.
brackets closed, CLOSE. They won't
Yeah.
have an X. So it is a lot of work, and it's very hard to concentrate
Yeah.
on the subject matter that you were
Yep.
interested in. And
Yep.
they've done in my opinion, done a bad job.
So yeah, but so we've had a busy last several weeks. We were at, like I said, we were at the NRB with our little team, half our team, and just a great time down there. Some nice food. If you've never been to the Opryland Hotel at the Gaylord, it's like a Vegas hotel in the middle of Nashville. I mean, you get lost in that thing very easily. And ran into some good friends and had some good times, and then doing the podcast, and getting ready to send off our devotionals. So we're looking. It's been a busy week,
Well,
a good week.
I was concerned that you might perhaps have been having sports delirium tremens because you're always going to sporting events, and I was thinking if baseball can't get their act together, the Indy 500 might be your next sporting event, and I don't know if you would make it.
I know that the Kentucky Derby, but yeah, I'm starting to slow down a little bit again, so that's good. But I was talking to a friend over the week about a book proposal, a book idea that we're going to be working on a proposal for hopefully for next year. So
Oh,
doesn't stop. You always got to keep moving. If you stand still, you're not going anywhere.
well, you'll be stampeded over.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we just sent in this proposal or this book tonight. So I'll take a couple of weeks off and then start on the next one. So
Okay. Well, hopefully, if you get that submitted before midnight tonight, and
it will.
we'll soon be able to dismiss you here so that you can actually hit that submit button.
Oh
and,
yeah, I'll get it.
hopefully, they won't have too much problem with what was
No.
done.
No,
Let me ask you a question. I constantly hear authors saying, "I've got this deadline," and they knock themselves out. I mean, I don't know if it's because of procrastination or unreasonable deadlines or whatever, or a combination of both. But I guess the question is, what if, Dell, you didn't send that in until 4 o'clock in the morning? What would happen?
Not a whole lot. Depends on the publisher. Quite frankly, with you, it's depends on the publisher, but more than likely, if you didn't get it in within 3 or 4 days, they'd send you a little, hey, did I miss something? They'd nudge you a little bit. But if you go a week or two and don't communicate with them, then they'll take it, but you may not get a deal next time.
Yeah.
So they understand life happens, but typically, I've never had this situation, so I've never missed a deadline. But if I was going to miss a deadline, I would reach out and say, hey, I'm going to be a day or two late. Is that okay? And they would say, sure.
Well, that's true in life. Well, I think we've all been late for work, but now today we have cell phones. There's no excuse for not calling in.
Right. I had a client recently that was the publisher reached out to me and he said, hey, I haven't gotten such and such manuscript yet. And I said, when was the deadline? They said, like a week ago. I said, okay. So I just sent a text. Hey, when are you going to send that in? He goes, probably tomorrow morning. Okay, fine. So we got it in. All was well. So they just like communication. Even if you're going to be late, just let them know.
Yeah. I remember one time an employee called in saying they got out and a tree had fallen across their driveway and obstructed and they live about 25 minutes from where we worked, and it's 5 minutes until time for him to get there. And I'm thinking, now wait a minute, you'd have been late anyway.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if there really was a tree, falling across his driveway. I don't know.
But, I don't know, but so we've had a fun few days, fun couple of weeks, and the next couple of weeks it'll be even more fun with the launch coming up, and next week, and just some new adventures. So we're looking excited for the next few weeks. What's going to happen?
All right. Well, it'll be about the time that is all happening that you will next be on. It'll be the first Tuesday of next month, which I'll just pull up my calendar here and see when it is.
That? Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, let's figure this out. That will be April the 5th.
No. Yes.
Yes, 3 weeks from today, because there are 5 Tuesdays this month.
In March. Awesome. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be pounding on me,
Yeah.
Hey, when are you going to send me the link?
It really. So no, I appreciate everybody being out there. I know it's tough sometimes to hear the same old stuff every other week, but I appreciate it.
With you, Dell, the same old stuff with you is you're busy. But it's not. It's never the same. It's always some. Your life must be akin to being in a blender. I mean, it just constant.
Nah.
And but you're
It's
very
not
blessed.
dull. It's not dull, I'll tell you that. And by that time, by next show, I'll have probably the biggest announcement I've ever made. So
All right. Well, Dell,
yeah.
we will hang on to that hope, and we will hang on anticipating your announcement, and we can't wait to hear from you again. Hey, thanks. Go get that submit button, click on
I
it,
will.
and then take it easy on yourself, at least for the night, and then go into your stuff. But we appreciate you taking time to share with us, Dell, and we
Thanks,
appreciate all that you're doing, in the kingdom, and helping us out, letting us know, and inspiring us to do likewise.
Thank you.
All right, my man. Dell Didway here on pjnet.tv. It'll be 3 weeks before you see Dell again. He gets kind of a week off, so to speak. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for us tonight. Let me go take a quick look at pjnet.tv, the website, and look at our schedule, and let's see what we've got going tomorrow night. We have, get this, a first-time guest, Nancy K. Grace, who I have already touched base with to do a dry run test connection tomorrow afternoon. So I hope that you will make your plans to be here for that. And as we close, I remind you to ask yourself these 2 questions, and in this order. What is the boldest thing that you've ever done for Jesus Christ? Question number 2, how long ago was that when you did it? Folks, let's not be satisfied with either answer.